There's the stats of the night. I would regard that as a relatively low percentage of possession by Manchester City's standards normally, and only 778 passes. Usually it's 800, 900 or so. What was wrong with them this evening? A sign of their normally very high standards in that front, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, it's the accuracy of the passes, 94% accuracy. So there's only a couple of passes that go straight throughout the game. And when you go and watch them and you can see them live, you can just see how they're all perfectionists. Their first touch is perfect. It takes them in the right direction where they want to go. The weight on the pass is perfect every time. They very rarely try a risky pass. They just look for the player who's free all the time. And it wears teams down, basically. It's sometimes it's not mad exciting to watch and get you on the edge of your seat or anything like that, but eventually it'll wear you down. If you're a defender trying to concentrate for 90 minutes against that, constantly moving side to side, constantly checking your shoulder for runners, it's inevitable that they're going to score goals, and that's why they're so strong.
How much is that that they sign players who do that, you know, what you just said there, pass it perfectly, take their first touch perfectly, and how much is it that sort of, you know, they come there and Guardiola schools them and they mightn't get in the team for 3 months, but eventually they're only getting the team when they are doing all those things perfectly?
They obviously, they're in a very fortunate position with the backing that they've got, and also the level and the standards that the best players in the world now look at Man City and go, well, I want to go there. I want to work with Pep Guardiola. I think he demands the ultimate from them. So there's no resting, there's no days off. Even apparently when they do the rondos on like a rest day, they'll go in and they'll do 45-minute rondo, and it's every pass has to be perfect. It's constantly searching for perfection all the time, and it's all fun and games, but don't make mistakes. Keep the ball. Even you'll see a long ball and they go for a header, they head it to one another. They don't head it away for a throw in or anything like that. Or if it's going for a throw in, they'll sprint to keep the ball in play and start again. And it's really, really, really good footballers playing at their absolute maximum.
But he's sort of setting the tone up for that perfection from the top, and it's sort of you either rise to that standard or you're gone.
I don't think there's any doubt that he's like massively in charge, and people want to play for him. And he's got such a good squad that if you're not performing, he can just take you out and put someone else in. And you've seen it with Grealish, you've seen it with Doku now to an extent where the form isn't where it should be, and they've come out and he spoke about it, and he says as soon as he starts playing well again, he'll put him back in the team. And it highlights an already really good player. It highlights him in front of his peers as like all these world-class superstars, and he's still pointing fingers and saying, you're not pulling your weight at the moment.
Phillips is the one that stands out for me. He's at Leeds. He's outstanding. He plays for England. He's outstanding. He didn't get games with Manchester City for whatever reason. He's now gone off to West Ham. I thought that was incredible how that was dealt with.
He's a manager that sets the tone for the club in a way, I suppose, that very few other managers are able to do.
Yeah, I mean, he played that way, didn't he? He was just such a top, excellent performer. But to be able to get that out of every single player, but because of the squad he's got, as Richard just says, if they're not doing it, he can leave them out. I mean, Jack Grealish is 100 million quid. Don't see much football, you know. He's left him out. There's talk that he's got to improve. I mean, wow. Yeah. You know, you're signing for 100 million quid, and there's the manager saying you've got to improve, you've got to do better. Which, as somebody that's setting those standards, that's ruthless. It's brilliant.